This cannot be right, as we have a huge New York Yankees update to go over regarding a player who was once seen as this team's future, and now there is a ton of trade talks surrounding him as well, with a face to connect these trade talks to on top of all this. There's a lot to go over on the New York Yankees right now, and we're going to waste no time jumping right into things as always, guys. But real quick before we do, if you're part of that percentage that's not subscribed, if you're part of that 68% that does not subscribe to Yankees Digest, make sure to go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss a single New York Yankees update. We got videos coming out every single day regarding the Yankees, breaking down all the latest Yankees news and everything else regarding the team, so you always stay up to date and know Yankees baseball. But let's jump into the video, guys. A lot to go over on the team right now, as clearly with the offseason being really in full force right now, we will see the Yankees start to make some moves for this team going forwards, and that is the case with a whole lot of players. Obviously, nobody expected Trent Grisham to opt into that qualifying offer and evidently be back with the Yankees. Meanwhile, the team still wants to re-sign Cody Bellinger. Aaron Judge will be back in the outfield next season, and also the team has a rising up-and-comer in Spencer Jones. All that being said, what does that mean for Jasson Dominguez? Dominguez, who was once viewed as the Yankees' future center fielder and an absolute superstar, getting the Martian nickname, being compared to a Dominican Mike Trout. He had an incredibly high ceiling placed on him at just 16 years old when the Yankees used all of their foreign money that year to sign Dominguez. That's how hard they believed in him. And now Dominguez finds himself looking on the outside, or on the outside really looking in, to the Yankees regarding the future of their team. Now, as Newsweek mentioned, Dominguez appears to be on the way out. Not only did ESPN's longtime baseball insider Jeff Passan list the 22-year-old as a trade candidate in his Tuesday roundup of players, potentially on the trade block ahead of the MLB winter meetings, but general manager Brian Cashman has described Dominguez as a fallback option for the Yankees outfield in recent interviews, and that definitely is worrisome to say the least. So with that in mind, obviously, there are some changes coming. Look, obviously, Dominguez was viewed as someone who was a guaranteed starter last year, and everything that happened with Grisham did sort of throw that for a loop. The Yankees now ultimately have to figure out what they want to do with Dominguez going forwards, as Passan did list him as a trade option right here, with Jasson Dominguez being primarily in the center right here, being mentioned as someone who could be moved, along with names like Nolan Arenado, Nick Castellanos, Tristan Casas, a bunch of known names, and Dominguez is part of that grouping. That definitely is a cause for some concern if you are a fan of Jasson Dominguez, which I am. Now, Dominguez did not have a great season last year, but he wasn't terrible, playing in just a non-everyday role, having a .257 batting average and a .719 OPS. He wasn't excellent by any means, but he did show some potential and has shown that he can play. He's an excellent base runner, could play in the outfield, he's a good fielder, and he ultimately is, or has shown potential to be a very good hitter. When he first came up a few years ago and played a couple games before going down with the injury, Dominguez looked absolutely phenomenal and like he was going to be everything as advertised, but since then we have not really seen that same guy yet. Now, on top of that, Jasson Dominguez is 6 for 35 as of last week when playing in the Dominican Winter League. So Dominguez is not really playing well right now anyway, which does make him even seem less and less likely to have a long future with the Yankees at this point, and more likely like he will be part of some sort of trade, and that has been brought up recently as well by a few different other people, just considering the fact of where Dominguez's career is right now. It makes the most sense for the Yankees to trade him. I mean, again, they have Spencer Jones coming up. They have a bunch of outfielders right now. It does make sense to move on from Dominguez because at the end of the day, there's not really much else the Yankees can do with him. Moving on from him while he still has value is probably the right move, just because when you look at him, when you look at the Yankees and all this, it is sort of hard to imagine anywhere that Dominguez is going to fit in. You can't really fit him somewhere. Cashman's already calling him a fallback option. So what exactly do you do with him? There's not really another plan. Are you just going to have him sit there for a while? That doesn't make sense. We saw the Yankees do that with Oswald Peraza and kill his value. I don't think they're going to do that again, and if they do, it would be monumentally stupid. At the same time, I don't want to see Spencer Jones back down in the minors. He's shown that he's a major league player. The Yankees see him as an outfielder. All of this does make some sense to where Dominguez, it would make sense if he ultimately was to get traded off the team. And that has been brought up, as I mentioned, as ESPN recently had an article that said the Miami Marlins should trade Edward Cabrera to the Yankees in exchange for Jasson Dominguez. And that is a very, very bold idea, to say the least. I mean, you look at it, and as Tristan Cockcroft said, If the Yankees are truly focused on keeping their payroll in check, they'll need to be creative in how they address their roster shortcomings. Presuming that the team re-signs Cody Bellinger, the Yankees will already have spent a majority of their available free agent budget and have rendered Dominguez excess with top prospect Spencer Jones also as an in-season debut candidate. Dominguez is the kind of high-ceiling youngster that the Marlins should be targeting. And on top of that, Edward Cabrera is talented, albeit injury-prone. He's a starter who can provide critical rotation depth while the team waits for the healthy returns of Gerrit Cole, Carlos Rodon, and Clark Schmidt. Dominguez's 2 additional years of team control might make this a slight overpay for the Yankees, but Cabrera's projected $3.7 million salary via arbitration could make him an ideal budget-conscious acquisition, which does make sense. At the end of the day, I think this trade's a little insane. I think Dominguez is worth more than that, so it's tough for me to get to agree to this. Cabrera appeared in 26 games for the Marlins last year, went 8-7, had a 3.53 ERA in 137 innings pitched, had 150 strikeouts. He can strike people out, gives the Yankees a very reliable righty arm, especially while Gerrit Cole works his way back. Obviously, Schlittler's there. But the Yankees will need another starter going into this, and also running a 6-man rotation with Cole coming off the injury, with everything surrounding this team. It wouldn't be the worst idea in the world either. Cabrera is a very interesting target for the Yankees that I do like the idea of. At the same time, it is kind of hard to just trade Dominguez away for a guy like this. At the same time, it makes the most sense. Look, Cabrera has 3 more years of arbitration after this, so he's got time. The Yankees don't have to give him that much money. He's under long team control, and the Yankees could ultimately keep Cabrera around or opt to flip him. He is 28 right now, so he's entering into that real prime of his career right now. So the Yankees should be able to get that on some decent arbitration money. And honestly, it would make a ton of sense for the Yankees to do this. It does give them some control on a pitcher. And as we know, Brian Cashman says, you can never have enough pitching. The thing is, it comes down to what exactly the Yankees want to do here. First of all, if they don't re-sign Bellinger, then that makes sense to... you obviously keep Dominguez. If you don't re-sign Bellinger and you don't sign Kyle Tucker, you keep Jasson Dominguez 100%. If you do sign Cody Bellinger, which I think the Yankees will, then Dominguez becomes very expendable, and you start to look in another direction and start to figure out where exactly you move forwards from here. But is that going to involve Jasson Dominguez? The answer is most likely not. But Cashman, we do need to see exactly what he wants to do. The Yankees have sat on prospects before. As I mentioned, Oswald Peraza, for a while, they sat on him for a very long time. It would not be shocking to see the Yankees sit on Dominguez, not knowing what they want to do with him, which ultimately is probably the worst possible outcome because he'll tank his value, and then also not play him so he won't get reps and he won't really start to show that potential that has put him in a much better spot to try to succeed, which ultimately would be great. I'd rather see Dominguez on the Yankees succeeding because I do think he still has that crazy potential. At the same time, I do understand if the Yankees trade him. Guys, if I sounded terrible in this video, I am sick right now. I'm battling through it. It really sucks to talk. But we're going to keep fighting through for these videos, guys. Make sure to stay subscribed and stay tuned for all New York Yankees updates. We got more videos coming out imminently as well. Hope you enjoyed this one. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Go Yankees.